Hello and welcome to another off-meta deck profile brought to you by Double Sleeved. If you're enjoying these off-meta deck profiles, let us know by giving the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comment section below if there's anything that you would like to see featured on off-meta deck profiles. For today's deck profile, we're going to be going through set 15 Vegeta. Now this leader has actually been featured on the channel before. Ryan took a stab at this leader back when set 15 first launched and did a deck profile. If you'd like to have a look at his deck profile, we'll leave a link in the description below. But we did get a request from our good friend Nino to have another crack at this deck profile, and after reading the leader and having a look at some cards that I think will be pretty funny to go with it, I thought why not have a crack and build a little bit of a meme. So it will be a bit of fun, a lot of hand destruction, but let's go through it and I'll explain what I've done with some of the build here. So we have Vegeta on the leader front side. He has an auto once per turn. If it's your opponent's turn, when one of your battle cards is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. That's why this Vegeta leader has got the nickname of Tax Jeter. Punishes your opponent for removing your pieces on their turn. Has an active battle once per turn. If your life is less or equal to your opponent's, this card gets plus 5,000 power for the battle. Really handy to keep you in the game. An awaken condition: when your life is 3 or less, or your opponent's leader card is facing, its back is facing up, you may draw 2 cards, choose one of your opponent's unison cards and remove a marker from it, then flip this card over, really punishing your opponent there on the awaken if they've got unisons and really rely on their unison. On the leader back, we have Vegeta. Destined Confrontation has the auto: when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards and remove a marker from it. Additionally, if your opponent doesn't have a unison card in play, choose up to one green Great Ape card in your battle area, switch it to active mode, and negate its skills for the turn. Really handy to restand your Great Apes that we have in this deck. They do have blocker, so they're pretty handy there. Also, our secret rare we're using is a Great Ape, so we'll go through that soon. But also really easy to remove markers from your opponent's unison and punish them if they are playing a unison card. So you can quite easily remove multiple markers per turn. Other auto has once per turn. If it's your opponent's turn, when one of your battle cards is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, draw one card, and your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. Once again, punishing your opponent for removing your pieces during their turn. And that's why you'll see the first card in the deck that I've got here is Dark Power Black Marseille. I had a look at this combo and I couldn't not put it in the deck. Anyone who knows this card will understand why. It's quite easy to remove, so your opponent will want to remove it, especially if they're playing battle cards with a skill. We'll go through the text here. So first auto is once per turn. Auto: when you attack with this card, you may choose one card from your life, add it to your hand. If you do, this card gets plus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. Won't really be using this. We'll pretty much be playing this card and letting it sit on the field, baiting our opponent to remove it. The other auto we have is when your opponent plays a battle card with 15,000 power or less using non-keyword skills, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in their drop area. So if they're playing a card with skills, they're being punished by Dark Power Black Marseille, and if they're removing a piece that threatens them playing cards via skill, our opponent's going to punish them by making them discard as well. So they're being punished either way. There's still ways around removing this card, but it was such a funny combo I had to put it in the deck. Moving on to the next pieces, we've got our unison cards here. So I'll start with our late game unison. We have King Vegeta Invasion's Command. Has a counter attack Spirit Boost 1. Play this card with 3 markers on it. And a permanent: during your opponent's turn, if a Great Ape card is in play in your battle area, reduces the specified cost of this card in your hand by 1 green energy. So essentially becoming a 2-cost counter attack. You should have your other unison out when you're playing this, but its uptick is what we really want. With this deck, we don't draw a lot. It's not a draw heavy leader, so we want to punish our opponent's hand as much as possible. So it's uptick active main. Choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand or one of their battle cards ignoring barrier and place it in their drop area. Barrier removal is always handy, but that hand destruction is just as handy in what we're trying to achieve here. Also has a minus X, so you can choose the number of markers you want to remove from this card. Active main: for each marker you remove using this skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Again, that removal really handy. The unison that we're going to be replacing with King Vegeta, and we want out pretty early, is Demigra Unison of Sorcery. Really popular unison, great for taking life and getting down to your awakened condition if you need it, or in this case just feeding our hand because we don't draw a lot. We are going to want to use our life as a resource. So it has a permanent: if this card will lose a marker from your opponent's attack, you may add one card from your life to your hand instead. Has an uptick active main of this card gets plus 10,000 power for the turn, so it becomes a 15,000 beta. And a -3, again, really good removal. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. Really, really solid unison, even still was released in the first unison set, but still strong to this day. Now, to go with the theme of this deck, I do like to build my deck around themes, and these are the cards that came out with it in the set. So we've got Vegeta's Powerball, which is a field extra card. Has a permanent: if your leader card is a green Saiyan, which it is, you can activate this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. Really handy. And auto once per turn for 1 energy. When one of your non-Grade Ape Saiyan cards is KO'd by an attack, you may choose a Grade Ape card that includes the color and character name of the KO card with an energy cost of 4 in your deck. Play in rest mode, then shuffle your deck. Also has another auto: at the end of your turn, choose up to one of your Grade Ape cards in your battle area, switch it to active mode. Again, really handy skill for what we're going for with the 8 package in this deck. So the first piece of that package is we have our 1-drop green Vegeta. So Vegeta Elite Resolve has unique and a permanent: if a player has a field extra card in their battle area, this card gains blocker. And the auto, this is going to help us find our piece, and that's why we're only running a 2 of in the deck. Auto: when you play this card from your hand, choose one, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck and add up to 1 green Saiyan card with an energy cost of 3 or less among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. And the other option is choose one Vegeta's Powerball in your deck, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's going to get our field extra card out there pretty easily. We really want to see in our opening hand at least 1 Dark Power Black Mask Saiyan and 1 Vegeta, ideally. You can also find our super combos with that as well, which is really handy. The evolve target, or not really evolve, but once he's removed, we have our target here, which is our 4-drop Great Ape Vegeta. He's a blocker, really handy 20k blocker, and auto: limit 1 for 1 green energy. When one of your green non-Grade 8 Vegeta cards with blocker is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you may play this card from your hand. So essentially you're going to get that Vegeta out, block with him, and then pay 1 energy to replace it with a 20k blocker. This card has a great second order, and we really want to focus on that hand destruction with this deck. Once per turn, when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hands and discards it. You notice we have 3 cards that have this same auto, really focusing on that hand destruction, swarming with really cheap hand destruction pieces that are going to be a little bit more difficult to remove. Also have an active main for 2 green energy. If a player has a field extra card in their battle area, play this card from your hand. We're going into our secret rare. I'm just keeping it together with the apes. Normally I like it at the end of the deck profiles, but we'll jump into it a little bit early. Really, really strong secret rare for green. Gets a lot of love by some people. Other people might not think it's as strong, but I personally love this secret rare. Has the auto: if your leader card is mono green and you remove this card from your combo area from the game, when this card is used in a combo, choose up to one of your battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So someone dumps their hand, you're removing this card from your combo area, popping that card. Saved me a couple of times, that's for sure. Really love this secret rare. Also has the active main: if you do need it as a win con condition, for 5 green energy, play this card from your hand and it gains dual attack and triple strike for the turn. Dual triple 40k beta, also really handy there. 5 energy is a little bit steep, but if you're getting there and it comes in handy, absolutely go for it. The next part of the package, we're running a smaller Gohan package than the Vegeta. So we have Son Gohan confronting Invasion. He's also a blocker with an auto: if your leader card is green Saiyan, when this card is KO'd by an opponent's attack, choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards, remove a marker from it, and add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So you can get your your life as a resource. Also, like I was saying before, really punishing your opponent if they're running unisons. You got your leader that can remove markers. You got this Gohan, when he's being removed, you can remove markers, so you can really punish unison players. We have the replacement for that is the 4-drop Son Gohan. So he's a blocker with revenge, again punishing board states as well. So I've got auto for 1 green energy. When one of your green non-Great Ape Sun Gohan Youth cards with blocker is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you may play this card from your hand. So if they're removing that, you're punishing them by playing that from your hand as well. Really handy skill. Because we are running unisons in our deck, it is green. We're going to be running Frieza, Charismatic Villain, extremely strong card. I don't see any point in time when you're running a green unison where you wouldn't want this in your deck. Has counterplay. You can't activate the counterplay skills on other cards for the turn and play this card from your hand. And the permanent, when you have a green unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy costs. And the auto that comes in really handy. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and KO it. Really strong. We like replacing our targets in this deck, so we do have the 5 cost Fuse the Masu Deity's Wrath. He has Indestructible, and very similar to the 8 Vegeta, where he's got for the energy cost of 1. If you have 3 or more energy, choose green battle cards in your battle area with 5,000 power or more, and total energy cost of 5, and place them in your drop area. Play this card from your hand with the auto. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, place it in the drop area. With Zamasu having Indestructible, really hard to get rid of from your battle area, so it comes in really handy, ensuring that your opponent's discarding with a 20k beta every single turn, and replacing, generally you're using this 5 cost Frieza as most people do. Because we're running a hand destruction deck and we're running green, we're running Ribrianne, so she has the active main, for those who don't know, for 2 green energy. If your leader card is green and you send this card from your drop to your warp, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and places it in the drop area. The super combo of choice, we have Great Saiyaman, Vanquisher of Villainy. Pretty standard super combo in a lot of decks. Every color has a super combo like this. If your leader card is green and your life is 4 or less and all your energy is green, when this card is used in a combo, it gains 10,000 combo power for the battle. Then you may choose 1 card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck if you do draw 2 cards. If you happen to draw into something like your 4-drop apes and all that sort of stuff that you want in your deck to play for free, if you wanted to play off your Vegeta Powerball skill, you can always bottom deck it with this super combo. It comes in really handy. With the negate, so I do like Dormant. It stops a lot of Swarm, obviously stopping attacks. We'll go through the card here. You can swap out this negate for a few other options, but I feel like we really want to be punishing our opponent for multiple swings, and we want to use our blockers. So if we can stop multiple swings and use our blockers really strongly, we're going to be protecting our life, and that's what's going to help this leader survive. But we also want to be careful what we when we're using things like this, we're pitching cards that are necessary to pitch, so we want to be pitching Ribrianne as much as possible, because that's a card we want to see in the drop area. We'll go through its counter attack. If your leader card is mono green, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total energy cost of 2 or less and KO them. Additionally, you may choose 1 green card in your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent can only attack once more this turn. Also, the permanent, if you have a green unison card in play and you activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So free negate, obviously being able to pitch a green card as well and stop a number of attacks coming through, extremely strong. But you do want to watch your hand size with this deck. It's not a very draw heavy leader, which is why we have the next card in here, which is Great Ape Son Goku. Very similar to Ribrianne, but does the reverse effect. So active main for 2 energy. Send this card from your drop to your warp and draw 2 cards. We need draw power in this deck, and this card is what's going to give it to us. I do have 1 more green card in this package, and that's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Son Goku. Very similar to Great Ape Vegeta, very similar to our Zamasu here. So Goku is a 20k double striker. He has an auto limit 1 for 1 green energy. If your leader card is green and this card is in your combo area, when one of your green battle card attacks and KOs an opponent's battle card, play this card from your combo area. So if you're swinging with something like your 20k Vegeta, Great Ape, adding the extra 5k combo power, if it's a lower attack power on your opponent's card, they have to either discard cards from their hand to stop this card from coming out, or they're going to be running into this next auto every single time they don't remove this card from your battle area. So auto, when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. your opponent chooses one card in their, your opponent chooses one card in their hands and discards it. Again, really focusing on that hand destruction. If we can't draw, we want to punish our opponent's hand to make sure it feels like our hand size isn't suffering to theirs. So we really want to focus on that hand destruction in this. That's why for our Overwhelm package, I've only got Dark Temptation Tower in there. So for Overwhelm 3, auto, when you play this card using Overwhelm, if your leader card is green or yellow, choose one of your leader cards and it gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, and your opponent chooses one card in their hand and places it in their drop area. So that's the overall deck. Obviously you can make a few different tweaks. I highly recommend have a look at Ryan's build as well. His build is more red-green, but another strong build, a different way of looking at the deck. So one thing I really love about these decks is how versatile they can be and how many different ways you can actually build. But I hope you've enjoyed this profile. For me, it's a little bit of a laugh. I'm going to give this a go just to have a laugh at locals and hopefully punish a few players and see how it goes. But I really enjoyed putting this one together. Thank you again, Nino, for recommending this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if there's anything that you would like to see featured on off-meta deck profiles, let us know in the comment section below. Give the video a like and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks.